Well, hey there everyone. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Welcome back to Southeast Louisiana on May the 20th at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, where it's already 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's almost 24 degrees Celsius. Extremely humid. And we are riding out a heat wave in the spring. That's right, folks. We are warm. It's been in the mid 90s to upper 90s, and even the heat indices have been well over 100, and it's been hot. But we're cooling off next week, so that's a plus. Just the air conditioner was so cold, this thing fogged up. The bugs are everywhere. It's gonna be a miserable day. How much longer can I stand the heat down here in the deep south? Anyway, we got a task to do today. It's not a huge one, but it's one that's necessary. I have got to make room in my hives, and I'm in a bit of a situation with how it all panned out this year. You see, that's why you never just sit around and go, this is how it is, because it's not always that way. It just doesn't work out. Bees will change your plans so fast, and they will humble you many times, and I'm always wary of the person that says, this is the best way, this is the only way, and this is how it should be done. Because let me tell you, 10 years into this, I have had to pivot, flex, move, and adapt so many times. What am I talking about? Well, the privet. The privet, it is official. In my region right here, in this area, it officially did not come in. It bloomed, and it's stumping me. It's really stumping me this year, because it bloomed beautiful. When we've had the privet miss, it's been a dilemma, but you know, it's something we'll have to feed to build up instead, or just deal with just a tallow or whatever. And that's okay, but it doesn't normally bloom. Like the freeze got it, and it had some sparse late blooms here and there. But anytime it's bloomed brilliantly, like it did here, and it smelled so fragrant all over, it's usually flowed pretty well. It did all that, but didn't flow. So it is dry. The supers remain dry that I put on at the end of that blackberry. When those supers were filling up and they were halfway full, I put dry supers drawn on them. They are still completely dry. Bees are still there. What that does to me now is, I told Nathan in a comment, checkerboarding kind of bit me this year, because what I did was counted on the privet to flow. And I tried that new method of just basically checkerboarding each box. It worked. It worked very well. I like that method. I'm probably going to use it in the future. But with the privet not coming in, now I've got a whole bunch of half-drawn, half-filled boxes. So they're not ready to be pulled. So I can't make room for the tallow. So what I really need right now is more supers. I am using some deeps with foundations for the tallow, if the tallow flows. I'm so skeptical now, because again, I've never seen the privet bloom like that and not put something out. It literally put nothing in my supers, nothing, zero. So I do have some full supers. I did pull, about 2 weeks ago, I did pull off a couple supers worth, maybe in a couple deep frames. I guess it was a couple buckets full of honey, and pulled them off, put them back on, made some space for some bigger hives that, you know, and picked and choose some, whatever. Today I do have a few supers, no, only about 4 identified that will actually be that are actually completely full. I'll pull them off, and then I'm gonna piecemeal them out. We're gonna go through. I got a friend coming over to help. The great thing about beekeepers, when you need a hand, you call them, they come. So this is 2 weeks later. We're gonna go ahead and pick and choose through some supers. Gonna get as many frames out as we can. Even if we get 2 or 3 out, that's better than nothing. Because again, what I've got is a situation where I've got a bunch of half full, not quite cured, some half capped frames everywhere, but the privet was not able to come in and finish them off. Last year by this time, I pulled a dozen, no problem. Went out, pulled a dozen full ones, extracted them, put them back on. The hives were happy, and a few extra frames. In a couple more weeks, I pulled more. Ended up pulling at least 12 to 15, somewhere in there. And then in June, pulled more, and you know, it worked out. Not gonna work out this year. So we're gonna pull what we can today. Just gonna show you, take you along. We're using fume boards and blowers, or blower, and a trailer to stack them on. Gonna hurry up and get through them real quick before it gets too hot. I need to become a snowbird. Go north in the summer, south in the winter, right? Whew. Anyway, I know why they do it now. The older you get. easier and nicer it sounds. Y'all got any other questions for me? No? Nobody? Great, let's get on with this video. I'm gonna go get some stuff ready and I'll click the camera back on when Dirk gets here and we're ready to start pulling. But I will say this, the tallow is in bloom. I'm gonna go show you something real quick. Here's a tallow tree, folks. Look at the pond. I'm wondering whether the privet, a lot of people are saying it's because it was dry, but then Kenny said his wasn't dry. He had a lot of water on his property and rain and he still didn't get privet, honey. But you see my pond is way down. That's a lot of dry weather, but we got rain coming. This is the tallow. When it turns completely yellow, usually is when it's full bloom, but see, it's already coming off. This might even be done already. It's dry as a bone. And that's a little concerning. I am truly concerned over the flow in the tallow. I just don't know. The thing with tallow is, you look at that tree and it's not quite there. Yeah, other trees where it's just like that, they bloom for about 2 to 3 weeks and then they're done. But I've never pulled on them like that and had them just fall off. They're very, very dry. So I'm truly concerned. I really am. I don't know that, you know, I don't know that we're going to see anything significant if we don't have any rain. And by now the rain's probably too late. I know with goldenrod in the areas where it blooms in August, September time frame, they're looking for rain in July. It's usually a month and a half ahead. And if that's the same with tallow, we are in trouble. We'll see. You're not gonna see me use my lift today because I got help coming. I only got a few supers. And that's the reason I bought that lift. I bought it to move hives, really, honestly. That was one of the main reasons, just because I always end up being by myself when I move them. But I also did it for honey flow. And I haven't got any bee escapes yet, but I use it with the blower pretty effectively. But that's when I'm usually by myself when I pull the main pool of honey in July. So I definitely wanted to lift for that too. But we're not gonna use it today because I have help coming. And the two of us, we can do it pretty quick. Alright, so for those of you that never watched me pull or how I do it, or maybe don't know what fume board is, although I know probably 98% of y'all do, the 2 fume boards here. One's my date ant, got a metal cover. I like that one better. Heats up really well, but you can't use a torch on this one. It's very thin. It's not sheet metal, it's some kind of almost aluminum foil. And then this is one from Man Lake. It's got that plastic soda bee solar thing. That's what they say. It doesn't heat up, that I found. But then again, a lot of times I'm pulling, it's still a little shady. And then this year, because I couldn't find a Honeybee Gone in the big spray bottle, I'm gonna be using some Fisher's Bee Quick. I bought it Hive Life 2022. It worked out to be the only stuff I could get in the little spray mist bottle. We'll saturate that felt on the inside of those fume boards, put it on top of the colony, and then we'll blow out the remaining dozen or so bees. Of course, you don't want it dripping. I like it good and heavy. And so we'll do that, and then what I'm gonna do is open this colony here, and we're gonna, I already spaced these out when I went through them, that the top super, that top super is full. And these are some testy bees. These bees over here are never fun. So we'll just put the fume board on, and we're gonna go to the next hive. That's really it. All right, number 14, number 10. The way I got them is 1 through 5 on all my stands. That way the numbers always stay the same. The spot is always the same number. So that's 6 through 10 on this one. 10 this one here, we're gonna do that too. We're doing this real quick, then we're gonna go through and pick and choose frames. All right, let me get this one opened up. I think I said the top one. Let me make sure. Yeah, the top one. On a good hot day, you leave this on long enough, the whole front will be covered in bees. That'll work. And 11 to 14. So that will be this tall one right here. We'll do 14. All right, hold on, let me look. Yep, that one's full. That's one they drew out this year. Quick. Well, that was blackberry they did that. Amazing to me. I hadn't seen blackberry like that the whole time I've been beekeeping. Not that thick that we had this year. That's it. Now we're gonna go get some gloves on and start rolling through these ones that I know probably have a few frames here and there. For the full supers I know that are full, I put a quick number on them. I'm gonna put them right back on, because what'll happen, say the 2 outside frames aren't capped yet, I will just leave them in there, because I'm not gonna take them out if they're not cured. But I know that at least 7 of the entire box is capped. That was kind of my goal. If I had at least 7 capped, I'd pull the whole box. So at least 7 are capped. So even if I leave 2 in there for the 9 frames, I give that back to them, and then they'll finish. And that still gives them an entire super really in the middle to fill up. This is a painful way to do it. A good beekeeper would have enough supers. You know, that's how you should do it. It's not how I did it. So you do the math. It did run them out of 2 supers. I don't believe the other super is ready. Let's look. So going down to the bottom, I don't see a hive that's ready. Let's look. Just kind of looking at it, doesn't look like it from the top, but I see some cap. Yeah, that's not ready. I've run them down so deep with that fume board, it's been on there for probably 10 minutes, which is way too long, but they're coming up. Here they come. Alrighty. Alright, I know I pulled one from here. We'll put a super right back on it tomorrow. So if there is any major tallow flow, they'll get it. If they've swarmed, then I have to watch them next week and be sure and pull those supers and put them somewhere they can be used. I got one over there that's desperately in need of a super. Again, a good beekeeper wouldn't have ran out of equipment. That's why I don't do how-to videos, guys. I do a how I do video. So you may not want to do how I do, because otherwise you're going to be working your backside off, because it's hot and miserable, and I'm doing extra work that if I just had more equipment, I wouldn't be doing it. So it's how I do, not a how-to video. Thanks for watching. This one I'm talking about, see, we fumed it and how they're doing early in the morning, already coming out of every hole. But then this is a little disconcerting, fuming this one and nothing's coming out. Did they swarm? Who knows? I look out here each day and look in the trees, but you know, that doesn't tell you anything. So we don't know. If they did, those supers will move to, for example, number 9 right there that's needing a super, because I'm out. So it's not a big deal. We'll just move it and still capture the flow, allow them to requeen. Hopefully they requeen. It's still a little bit early and all goes well. But let's go ahead and pull some supers. Dirk's busy going through, picking. There's 5 frames. Gosh, yeah, that's full. They had plenty of space, so if they did swarm, they'd already planned it. This is pretty much empty, but drawn, half full of honey. Same way, I don't see a lot of bees. Oh, he's got a lot of honey in it, but it's not good. It's booming with bees. Yeah, there's a lot of bees missing. But no old swarm cells. Some old cups. Nothing that's been opened and torn down and emerged. So maybe I just ran them out. Maybe they're just not as big as I thought. They're coming now. They're coming now. Good gracious. That's heavy. There's got to be something here. So I know this is a neat super. super, it's full of bees. This one doesn't have as many bees. I'm gonna put an empty super right back on it later. I'm gonna go ahead and put that super over here. So we'll close these up. I don't think they swarm. This one needs a super. Because there's a lot of bees and honey in here. We'll call it a day. And this one's going to get bee in my pants. This one's going to get empty super once I spin it out. No bees, really.
You gonna do one below it?
You can look in it. I'm gonna grab it.
It looks like it's full.
It looks like it's should be the only 3 that I know are full that we're gonna pull off. The rest we can use these fume boards if we want to get into. Yeah, they didn't like that. See, that other one should have looked like that.
They look like, this one looks like it's capped.
Well, we're gonna check. I didn't see it capped last week, so. Which one is this? This is 13, 14, yeah, 14, yeah. I guess it is.
It's capped.
All the way across?
I think so. I'm gonna pull one out of the middle.
Pull the middle and then pull one outside. We'll yank this whole thing. We'll fume it out. Well, it's already fumed out. A little drone brood, that's it. I'll take this one. Pull one right here.
Right here?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna mark this one. This is 11, 12, 13, this is number 14. Yeah, 14's a good one. I don't want it to swarm. It's like 16, I don't want it to swarm either. So we'll put 1, 4 on here. It's fumed. So they're definitely in need. The next one is good. They're definitely in need of some space. We'll get it to them tomorrow first thing. I know.
But they're gonna need a super.
Ain't got any more.
Because it's full.
Just not seeing everything capped on this one. So good enough. I'm gonna get my spacer. I'm gonna stack it back. I pulled the super off them last week. They got space. So guys, so far I'm gonna go ahead and get done with this, and we'll go back into the honey house next. But so far we've pulled 4 full supers and 2.5 full nukes. Just making space again. This isn't the main honey pool. Hopefully the tallow comes in and we have a main honey pool. A lot of stuff is open, not capped. Some of it is, we're not finding any dry combs necessarily. Most of them have something in them, but they're not completely ready yet. So I got to get this stuff spun out, get them back on the colonies so that we're giving them the space they need for the tallow and moving on. We got stuff that needs, he's marking ones that need supers, and I don't have any. All right, we'll join me in the honey house in a little bit and I'll show you what we come up with. Telling you about the different stages tallow's in, and it spreads out through a few weeks. Here's some right here. Y'all saw the ones this morning. These are new. And then these are almost popped open. See, they're not quite popped open yet, but these are the ones I showed you in another video. I said it'll be about 10 days. Yep, that's what it's been. So hope they got nectar in them this year. And then you got these barely starting. All different stages. This stuff goes for about 3 weeks. That's what's nice about it. All right, let me get some boxes.
There you go. Most of us going through there. Probably would have been better off just setting it on the bottom, you know?
Yeah. Let them dry out some. All right, guys, got that done before the heat got really bad. That's nice. A little humid, but that's all right. So in here, I will show you what we've got. All right, this is no massive honey harvest by any stretch of the imagination, but that is quite a bit of space. Now, those supers aren't completely ready. There may be anywhere from 6 to the whole box, 6 frames to 9, but not all of them. Plus the nukes, those are just extra. What I have learned about Pro Nukes, I have used them for everything they're not designed to use them for. They're designed to be shipping and selling nukes. They are not designed for everything I'm doing with them, but I'm making them work because see, these sag with a lot of weight. But we don't worry about that later. I usually put them in a deep or something. I just don't have a lot of boxes, so I threw them in there. I thought they'd be convenient. But that's what we're going to do. We got the AC set on dry, so unfortunately you see it gets down to 73. That's not good for uncapping honey, especially if it's thicker early spring honey, which I have not run into that much of. The blackberry was a little thick. Got our extractor, and of course I extracted last few days a box or two to make room when I had time, and we still got some residual honey in there. Cleaned out the wax. Got the dehumidifier set up in here to try and at least dry this honey. I'm going to put a fan across all these boxes. We're going to dry them out and begin to extract either tonight or, you know, I really like let them dry. There are some uncapped cells, not a lot. I'm a 90% cap guy. That's what I believe in. If there's uncapped stuff, I'll shake it. I shook a few. A couple of them did have nectar. I won't put those in there. But hopefully we dry some of it out with the dehumidifier. We've got it set at 45. Well, that's what it's 45% here right now with the dry setting on the AC and a fan getting ready to turn on and blow across here. So we'll be good. We'll make it work. That's going to be a lot of space I can give back to the bees for the tallow. Because at this point, once we get tallow coming, which we do, it's already started, I don't want to get in the box as much. All I do is pop the tops and look. Made sure I moved all the boxes that we did pick and choose frames from to the top, and seeded a few frames here and there, did things like that, and that way all I gotta do is pop tops, add the frames back in tomorrow afternoon, and bees will be happy. We got rain coming tomorrow afternoon going into Sunday. I've got to get the grass cut. I will do an extraction video either on the big harvest or maybe I'll do a portion of this one, but I will definitely show you my extracting operation like I have in years past. It's nothing major. It's that tank and that extractor. I set it there, I move it there, I move it there, I bucket, I filter, or blah blah blah, and that's it. It's really simple. Nothing spectacular, nothing new here. Just not that big of an operation. But we'll get this done. That'll yield us a few buckets full. Already got a couple buckets done from this past week, so hey, we're just trying to make it work, trying to make things happen, trying to give the bees space. After that, we leave it. I don't do anything with them. I mess around, I let them go to July. While I'm waiting in that period of time, if I'm doing a walk around the yard and I just see a colony, it just looks like it's got no bees, I'll open it up. In that case, because robbing is bad after that that we get into a serious robbing situation at that point. But I'll go in and I'll save that honey. I'll move it to somebody else to finish capping, or if it's capped, I'll take it and we'll let the other bees take care of it for us until the big extraction. That way I can get the space reduced on them if they swarmed and give them the best chance to requeen and still continue to save the honey. And in most cases, if they did swarm, they're full of honey, won't need to feed them, they'll be fine for the dearth, and we'll be good to go. So that's the plan from here on out. I appreciate y'all coming along. I sure appreciate y'all's support on this channel. It has been a blessing and an honor. It really has. It amazes me every day when I look at the stats and the comments coming in. So I really appreciate all y'all's support. I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk through the yard, this quick strip of honey supers. I'm done for today. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Hopefully, we're gonna do some honey this year. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.